and all that other stuff, instead of us focusing on affordability, the economy, safety in the streets of America, we found ourselves literally going to work every day wondering whether or not we were going to keep our jobs if we mispronounced the wrong pronoun. That stuff comes from the left. It ain't coming from the right. It ain't coming from the center. It's coming from the left. It ain't coming from the center. It's coming from the left. I'm talking about the extreme left. There's a simple way for the Democratic Party to return to relevancy. And you know what that is?
What?
Focus on the issues that matter to the vast majority of Americans instead of working on a friendship.
But have mercy, y'all. What can I say other than this nigga? Stephen, no name, no nothing, A. Smith. I feel like every time he talks, folks, he confirms he voted for Trump. When you think about the Democrats, I've not heard anybody get fired over mispronouncing pronouns. That's just right-wing made-up bull jive. And after all these years, I've had enough of Stephen A. Smith, but I was done with Stephen A. Smith before him, and Skip Bayless cut loose, because I had already seen, as he would say, the tap dancing like Gregory Hines. He came up with the term, and then his ass got rich and started doing it. And then it becomes to this point now where you still have black men defending Stephen A. as a role model and what he has done for the black community. Mind what he has done, not what he's doing now. As of right now, he's degrading the black community. First, he came for Jasmine Crockett, had to get shut down and jump into an apology. And then he's now using words like extreme left, which is exactly what MAGA does to try to make a point about policies of humanity when it comes to Democrats. Let's jump into this video and see what Zohran Mamdani had to say on his show.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that pull. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
That's right, y'all. Please subscribe. Follow me on all my links. I got a TikTok. I've got this YouTube. I got my big YouTube channel under my name, Lamont Tyson. And I also have an Instagram. You can follow me there. And so Stephen A. Smith loves to do things, and I'm going to use his own words, bloviating about how people won't come to his show, especially Democrats. Well, his ass got surprised when Zohran Mamdani called in to shut this shit down that Stephen A. Smith is talking about. Buckle up, folks. This is going to be about 5 minutes of Zohran Mamdani whipping the shit out of Stephen A. Smith and breaking down what Cuomo had to say. Take a listen.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm glad you are finally on. I wanted to know, I had just had Andrew Cuomo on this show, your competitor in this race for the mayor seat for New York City. I wanted to know.
I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, okay, you're sorry for that. I know you've heard a lot about what he's had to say. What's your response to him saying that you're a novice, you haven't had a job, you're not qualified to be the mayor of New York City? How do you respond to that, sir?
Well, Stephen, before I respond to it, I first just want to say that I'm looking forward to actually coming to see you in person, and that's a commitment I want to make here on this show because that's something I intend to honor.
Thank you.
But I had to call in tonight in advance of actually making that happen because what we heard from Andrew Cuomo was not leadership. It was him spending 20 minutes talking about me because he has no vision left to actually offer New Yorkers. I am running with a clear plan to tackle the issue that New Yorkers are most concerned about, cost of living. A plan that will freeze the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants, make the slowest buses in the country fast and free, and deliver universal childcare. And when I go and I knock on New Yorkers' doors, when I speak to them on their street corners or as they're about to get on the subway, I hear them talk again and again and again that the thing that they are most worried about is being able to afford the most expensive city in the United States of America. And all we just heard on your show was as if all these New Yorkers are concerned about me. They're concerned about themselves, their ability to stay here. They deserve a mayor who actually cares about that.
Well, one of the things that, the former governor now running for the mayor seat of New York City, he's saying that he's the real Democrat. Obviously, you're a socialist running as a Democrat. And he basically is talking about there are things that you're swearing will get done that the mayor doesn't have the power to do. So, Zohran Mamdani, what would you have the power to do if you were the mayor of New York City? Just so we're clear about that.
So, Stephen, the first thing I'll have the power to do is to defeat Andrew Cuomo in 6 days to be the next mayor of this city. And I want to first go through this stuff about being a Democrat, and then I'm going to get to the question of the agenda.
Yes, sir.
You know, Andrew Cuomo more and more sounds like Donald Trump. Now, if he wanted to be the Republican nominee for mayor, he should have run in the Republican primary. If he wanted to be the Democratic nominee for mayor, he should have won the Democratic primary. Instead, he did neither, and now he is the candidate for Trump-backing billionaires who are trying to dictate to both parties what politics should be in this city.
Zohran Mamdani, Democratic mayoral candidate for New York City, right here with Stephen A. on Straight Shooter with Stephen A. What about safety in the streets? I want to know what kind of priority that is for you, and I want you to address the notion that whereas Andrew Cuomo is talking about 5,000 additional cops on the streets of New York and in our subways, you're talking about mental health experts or mental health workers in the subways as well. I want you to clarify your position on that and talk about why New York would be safer under your stewardship.
I really appreciate the opportunity because safety is the prerequisite for an affordability agenda. We have to ensure that New Yorkers are safe across the 5 boroughs. And what I've said is that I believe we have the right amount of police officers. I believe we need to actually make it easier for them to be doing police work. Today, the NYPD receives 200,000 911 calls a year that have to do with the mental health crisis. In 2020, they had a response time of less than 11 minutes. Today, that response time is closer to 16 minutes. Part of that is because of everything else that they have to do now, dealing with the mental health crisis, dealing with the homelessness crisis. So what I've said is that we would actually have a new vision of how to deliver this public safety to allow officers to focus on serious crimes and to develop a Department of Community Safety that would have mental health outreach workers who would be deployed to the 100 subway stations with the highest levels of the mental health crisis, workers who would actually be tasked with responding to homeless New Yorkers, connecting them with services. Because this is the thing, Stephen, we have a lot of different issues in our politics. A lot of times it comes down to money that you want to spend or don't want to spend. But sometimes it also comes down to a question of if you actually want to achieve something. We've got about 4,200, 4,300 New Yorkers who are homeless, sleeping between our subway platforms, our parks, our streets. We have almost the same number of vacant supportive housing units in New York City that were built for the purpose of housing individuals just like these. And the government can't get its act together to actually match the people with the services that are supposed to be delivered to them. That's exactly the kind of work that I would get after. And, Governor Cuomo, I was there on the debate stage with him. He said that the city has been getting screwed by the state. And I looked at him, I said, you got to be kidding me. You were running the state. Who do you think was doing the screwing? It was you. This is a guy who cut funding for homelessness when he had the power to keep it the same. How would he be the one to deliver us? And that's, I think, the issue here is that. Oh, please, I don't want to cut off your question.
Don't worry about it. We're just running out of time, and I know you got to go, and I appreciate you calling.
Folks, isn't it rather convenient that Stephen A. Smith all of a sudden had to go for time constraints? Any other time, anybody else pop up there that is a big time person, this Negro makes time for them. But when it comes to somebody who's trying to do the people's good, who's trying to use the social programs we have in place to make sure people can just have basic necessities in life, all of a sudden his tap dancing ass gotta go. Folks, the term that everybody's using with Stephen A. Smith and Trump and white people of the like in that administration is grifting. That's exactly what Stephen A. Smith has been doing. He's been grifting. And when the fire got too hot in the kitchen, when that ever-ending forehead of his started sweating over Jasmine Crockett, I said in my video back then that he would apologize because he is a man that can apologize. And the heat got too hot in the kitchen, his ass apologized. It looks like the heat's getting too hot right now for him and his political leanings because this man is still trying to tell y'all that he's a moderate. He's an independent. And folks, to me, when somebody says they're independent, it just means they don't have enough courage to tell you they vote Republican or they vote with MAGA. It's simple as that. They're voting selfishly. They're voting ignorantly. And the people that follow MAGA have already been proclaimed and by Trump, and they'll tell you quickly that they are not educated. Remember Trump saying, I love the uneducated? Of course he does, because an uneducated population will give away their vote over hatred, which is what MAGA does all the time. They have no intellectual curiosity other than what Fox News give them, and Fox News shoves a stream of bullshit down their throat because all these folks are in the name of Jesus, which makes them more susceptible to magical thinking. And Stephen A. Smith thought he was going to be able to curry favor with both sides of the aisle and those dumb folks. And when he apologized to Jasmine Crockett, they dropped his ass like a bad habit. And I'm so happy Zohran called in here, shut down all this bull jive about pronouns and about the Democrats don't have a platform. The Democrats have always had a platform. It's just that people like Stephen A. Smith try to grift to get people on both sides to support him to increase his pockets. And I'll get you guys out of here on this. It just completely gets on my nerves when somebody comes from nothing. Normally they're voting Democrat, and then all of a sudden they made it. And now they want to vote Republican because of their quote unquote taxes. Or you get people that know good and damn well folks is suffering in America and that the basic necessities that they can have can come from you if you've already made it, or if you've made it and you never had to struggle to get there. Just because we pinch a little bit out of your taxes, you can help the common good of the people. And you love to run around saying, I give to charity. It bothers me that people say that shit and they would not be giving to charity if they was not getting the tax break. So we're learning right now how charitable MFers are while this government is closed and people is suffering. And yes, in New York, you get universal child care. That is big time because it allows people to work. It allows people to free up time. It allows people to get their children educated at an earlier age so that 20 years from now, America is not falling for this banana in the tailpipe of the age of delightment that has been started with Trump. Post your comments. Let me know, are you done with Stephen A. Smith? My ass been done with him way back in the day. And should he just go somewhere? I mean, he's entitled to have his opinion, but is his opinion actually helping the people in this video that he claimed he wants to help, those that are worried about price? I think not. Until that next Sex is Hell video, I'm out.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.